Hey everyone, Mr. Hutch here again. We are moving on to the next lesson, which gets a little bit more advanced. What we're going to do is get yourselves into your Tinkercad app on the iPad and make sure you're in code blocks and have created a new project. Now, up in the top here, it automatically generates a random name. So I'm going to go ahead and delete that, and I'm going to call this project 4 Corners. And go ahead and tap off. Because these activities, when you complete them, I want you to, I know for my students anyway, screenshot them so that I can see your code and see your work plane so you can prove that you accomplished those little missions. Now, after you're done screenshotting all of them, I want you to get them onto one document, whether that's Notability or anything else, so that you can demonstrate all those different tasks and get those turned in. Everyone else, you just do what your teacher tells you, or you just do it for fun. But for me, that's what we're doing. All right, now let's get started. So your first task is 4 corners. What we're going to do overall is create a flattened rectangular prism and send it to the 4 corners. But I need 4 different ones, 4 different colors, but they all are going to be the same size. So you're going to have to either do duplicating or some other techniques. There really are a couple different options. You can ultimately choose what you want. You just have to have the correct final product at the end. All right. So I'm going to model a little bit here. We're going to pull out the box shape, and I'm going to make sure I move it over a little bit. And remember, we do want to get in the habit of always pulling out this create new object. We can keep that object 0 and then look what it is, or you can tap it and rename the variable. You could call it rectangular prism 1, for example. All right, now you can see that it has named this creation. Once I've done that, I do want you to start with some specific dimensions. So the width we're going to have be 30, the length I want 50, and we're going to have the height just be 4 millimeters. Now that you have done that, let's go ahead and pull out our move block, because we already know that once we hit play on this, it is going to put it on the work plane, but we know that it puts it half above and half under because it puts the center of our object at the coordinates 0, 0, 0. And so we need to get that moved up. So right away, I already know to take Z, because we've done this before, and raise it up 2 millimeters, half the height. So there we go. It has now raised up, and we are nice and flush with the work plane. All right, now our objective is, if I zoom out here, fingers, there we go, get that shape into the 4 corners. Okay. I am going to have to duplicate shapes somehow. So you could potentially take this. If you hold it with your finger, you can then duplicate this 3 more times and then just work with those and send them where you want. So that's one option for you if you want to do it that way. I do want you to change the colors for the other ones, just for fun. It'll look cool. But I'm going to show you another way just so you see 2 methods, and then you can go ahead and finish the task and screenshot it and send it in. So what I want to do is get this over to the corner. Now, really, you could guess and check, and just be moving the X and Y. Remember, your X is the red here going left to right in the same, it's parallel to the word's work plane, and then the Y are going up and down, and then your Z is going up, and which we're not really dealing with anymore for this one. All right, now, I would like you to not guess and check, just because you do have the ability to count it out and get it perfect the first time. So you can feel pretty well accomplished in that way. So here's what I mean by that. If I want to move it up, I can look at this top edge here, and I know each of these overall sections are 10 millimeters. So I'm going to ignore this half for a second. I'm going to go 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 plus the half is 75 millimeters. So if I go to my Y, because I want to move it that direction, if I just do 75 in Y, I know that it's going to go right to there. Now, I also want to move it to the right. So I'm going to zoom out on my work plane and count that distance too. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 85 puts that edge directly on the right side. All right, those are positive also, by the way. If I want to go left or down, we're going to have to go negative. All right, let's hit play, and it should be perfect. There we go. It put it right where we need because we mathematically counted and made sure we are accurate. It doesn't have to always be guess and check, even though it is a valid method. All right, now, I have a couple options. I can just take this and duplicate it. Okay, so I have another one of these to manipulate, or I can create a new object and add a copy of this prior shape. Okay, the way to do that, just so you can see, is I would go to the bottom and I have to tell it what shape I want to copy. So I can add a copy of rectangular prism number 1. Okay, and I can have it be yellow if I want and hit play. Shoop, shoop. And so I just made a copy of the 1. Notice I didn't have to do any movement because I made a copy of everything that exists here and I put it here. Okay, and this is a new object. So if I want, I could call this, rename this, and call it rectangular prism number 2. Okay. So now all I have to do is grab a move block in the modify section and just move this. I don't have to do anything else. And what's nice is it's already on the outside edges, so all I have to do is either move it straight down or straight to the left. So I'm going to count. I'll send this one down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And so I just need to move down the y-axis, and that is 150, okay, because it was 15 sections of 10 each. Now, here's the thing. I have to go negative 150 to get it to go down. Let's hit play, and there we go. All right, so you can see that process. Now, I'm not going to tell you, there's some little twists here, because if you create a new object using Rectangular Prism 2, I don't know, we'll see what happens. Or if you create a new object using Rectangular Prism 1, I don't know, you'll see what happens. The other option, remember, is you can hold down on Create New, and you can just choose to duplicate all those blocks of code. So that's another option for you as well. All right. Once you go ahead and continue that task, and once you get 4 different colors on the work plane, go ahead and zoom out so that we can see the work plane and your code, screenshot that, and move on to the next activity video.